All right, we are live. Another week, another episode. I think this is our third episode this week. I am Corey,
And I am Austin.
and we have two special guests with us today. The Breakdown with J&L podcast. Those guys are on Instagram. Make sure you guys go give them a follow. Guys, how are you doing tonight? Good. So we typically like to start off by asking our guests kind of what got you into covering sports and making you post content. Like we've heard a nice variety of different answers from guests that we've had on. So Jay, let's start with you. What kind of got you into doing this?
I just always loved sports. Growing up, I was never the athletic type. I always watched sports. Uh, Watched it with my dad, my family. Like every Sunday, we watched football. I watched the basketball games. Um, I just have a passion for sports. I love it so much that I was like, I have to let my voice be heard. So we decided to create this platform during COVID. So my wife, she actually brought up the idea to us because we never thought about having a podcast or having a YouTube channel. And she was like, "Hey, you guys love sports so much. Y'all should look into creating a podcast and a YouTube channel." And I was like, "Well, that's a good idea." So we brainstormed. Came up with a name. Um, Start off as a podcast first, and we just started a YouTube channel last year. So we just have a passion for sports. We love sports. Just sharing our
Lawrence, what about
opinions,
you?
our thoughts and opinions with the masses, and yeah.
To piggyback off what Jay said, I've always loved sports. I'm a huge Warriors fan, a huge 49ers fan. So it's always been a dream of mine to be in the sports world, even if I couldn't do it athletically. I always knew I could take my talents and use it for other sports knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I used to always want to be
Yeah, no,
a
that's
sports
awesome.
agent when I was growing up.
Thank you guys for sharing that. It's
So
always fun
it
because
kind of spurred from that as well.
we just started about a year ago doing this, and the feedback and kind of the growth that we've been able to have in this year over the first year has been great. It's awesome seeing others that have passion and enjoy doing this as a hobby, and like you said, getting your voice being heard and just sharing your thoughts about sports. There's always something going on in the sports world, right? Whether it's draft coming up or oh yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
Oh, and it
we
never
never
sleep.
thought, and obviously we're not athletic at all either. We played sports growing up, but then we realized that it's not really for us. So how else could we do this? So it's been a journey. It's been fun, and it's always nice hearing other people's journey through the sports.
Yeah, I'm spot on. We played sports because that's what we had the passion, but our athletic talents can only take us so far. So kind of the similar thing. We still love sports. When we're not on here, we're still talking sports, watching sports, sleeping sports, everything sports. So uh, everything we've been able to do, it's just from the community, such as yourselves and everything, just feedback and just collaboration, right? It's been huge. So uh, anything sports related, whether it's kind of on topic or not, if you like something just pops into your head, like feel free to let it out. We talk sports on here. It's a free floor. Uh, dive into some topics, but really just let it out. Let that passion be seen. Let it be heard. Uh, no sentence or statement or opinion is judged or even wrong on here, right? Like it's sports. We all think differently, and that's the beauty of it. That's kind of the best thing of just hearing everyone, just different point of views. So uh, it's
Yeah.
been a wonderful ride so far, and just ready to see where we can go with it.
Yeah, so let's jump into our first topic. Is some big news in the college football world. Lee Corso announcing that August 30th will be his last appearance on College Game Day. He's been a staple right? Like he's been, the headgear, the not so fast, my friend. He's provided us with a lot of great moments, right? So Jay, give us kind of your thoughts on Lee Corso and kind of what it means to college football and ESPN that he's going to be done after the one show.
He's actually one of my favorite commentators, whether it's professional sports or college. He's one of my favorites. I remember growing up watching him, watching college game day in the morning before the games kick off. And I used to love him when he put on the different headgear and choose the team. I felt like that was cool, that was different, it was unique. He's funny, he's hilarious, but he's going to be missed in the college football world, and he's one of the best to ever do it. And I'm pretty sure he paved the way for a lot of these analysis and commentators,
Yeah,
regardless of
Lawrence, what
sport.
about
He
you
paved
and
the
Lee
way for a
Corso?
lot of
What are
people,
you gonna?
and he will be
What's maybe your
missed in the
favorite
sports
memory of Lee
community.
Corso?
I agree. There's one I saw where he did the Oregon Duck thing, and that was awesome. I always thought that he was innovative and different,
Mhm.
and it made him unique, right? Like he's the only guy that I saw that was doing that during that time frame, or is doing that during that time frame. He gives us a fresh perspective on how to pick the college games, and he makes it even more exciting to watch. You you can't wait to be like, ooh, college game day. Let's go. I want to see who Lee's gonna pick, and it gives another level of
Yeah,
excitement
bro.
and branding
Yeah, no, I
and
agree.
thought process,
For a long time, you
and
always
he
kind
will
of tuned
definitely be
in,
missed.
if not for anything else, just to see, the headgear, right? Uh, but I think one of my favorite things, I mean, you guys have already touched a few of them with this, his excitement, his fun, him being different. I always just loved, like, even hidden beneath all that fun and like those, his catchphrases and headgear and stuff is, he was just a wealth of knowledge. And it seemed like it wasn't just about like the three or four, the group of big schools. Like he knew everything about every school, and just his wealth of knowledge, his passion, his excitement. Like it's unmatched. It'll never be matched, and he will be missed. It's kind of that fun and excitement and that just that wealth of knowledge. You can't replace it. It will be missed.
Yeah, and I know they added Pat McAfee, and I know he brings a different, you know, energy and different level to college game day, but it's still not what Lee Corso was able to do. You know, yes, they bring on the celebrity guest pickers, but at the end of the day, we were all still waiting. What headgear is this guy going to put on? Is he going to fire off one of those rifles like he was trying to do in Oklahoma, West Virginia? I think he tried once with the rifle. So the passion is not going to be matched, and it truly is kind of an end of a great thing. And do you guys think that is there a replacement that they may look at? Is there someone else who could even come close to replacing Lee Corso? We'll start with you, Jay.
Uh, if Bill Belichick was the head coach of North Carolina, I think he would be a good
Yeah,
choice. Uh, Same thing with Deion Sanders, but they just locked him up to a new contract. Uh, those are some two names that come to mind. I can't
Yeah.
really
Do
think of
you think they
anyone else
continue
like
the
that's gonna come
the
close to
headgear
what Lee does.
uh
Besides those
little
two
skit
guys.
at the end? Do you think they have someone else try to do that, or do you think that retires along with Lee? Or what would you like to see it continue?
Mm. I did. I think. I would, but it wouldn't be the same because that's
Yeah.
Lee's thing. That's what he does, and whoever they bring on, I
Yeah,
like for
and
them to come up with their
you
own
know, I think
idea,
Nick
their
Saban was a
own
great addition
little
to
stick.
game day, but I don't foresee Nick.
He's not going to bring
I
that
don't,
level of
yeah,
excitement.
I don't see Nick Saban wanting to put on. I don't see Nick wanting. It would be awesome to see Nick Saban put on a Buckeye head or, dance like an Irish guy
No,
when they were
no,
with
not at
Notre
all.
Dame. But yeah, I like the Belichick. I think if he wasn't at North Carolina, I think his wealth of knowledge that he has for the game and what he brings to the game, I think having him and Saban together would be just a new level of college football in general. I do think one name stands out, and that's Peyton Manning. I could see Peyton wanting to do something like that. I don't know if he would want to with him having Omaha Productions and doing Monday Night Football, but I think him being a
Forgot about
character and him
Peyton's.
having a good sense of humor, I think that would fit right along with what Lee Corso brought to the show. So that's a name that I wouldn't mind seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of, maybe not when he was playing football, but I think everyone is a fan of Peyton Manning and his personality. Obviously, wouldn't be able to replace Lee Corso, but I think from just a personality, that might be one of the closest you could get, personality-wise. He obviously has knowledge, but still, Lee Corso's bringing, I don't know how old he is, like 100 years worth of just college football knowledge, and that can't be replaced either. So
Yeah, and then our friend Tim, Answer the Call, commented they should retire with him. The only person I want to see do headgear and honor would be Kirk Herbstreit or Pat McAfee. Yeah, McAfee knows how to get people riled up. I'm sure he would be pretty good at doing the headgear. So anything else on Lee Corso before we kind of move on to our next topic?
it feels just like the end of my childhood. That's really the only comment I got, right? Like, I don't know. It's weird. I guess we're getting to that age where, players and now coaches and analysts are just, I don't know, signaling
Yeah.
goodbye, and I'm not ready for it.
Yeah. Anything else, you guys?
Totally going away. It's crazy to me how if you look back at our childhood and you see the different career paths everybody went through, and to see how they're coming full circle now, I don't think they
Oh yeah.
get the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
we give it to them.
And as long as we're doing
But I
shows
think the
and
masses
watching
should.
College Game Day, we'll always acknowledge Lee Corso here. So moving on, there's a big draft next week, guys. Big draft. I I know there's been a lot of talk. I think everyone's always looking at the quarterbacks first,
Yes,
right?
sir.
They're always wanting to know because it's always the hot topic. You know, this year, obviously, the quarterbacks are a little weaker than what they were last year. There's still some good quarterbacks in here in this draft. Maybe not at the level of what we saw last year's or even the year prior. What are you guys thinking as far as like what the quarterbacks look like in this draft? And is it still a consensus that Cam Ward for you guys, number one? And we'll start with Jay. Or Lawrence, yeah, you go.
Uh, I think so.
I'll go ahead, Lawrence.
I think so. To me, Cam Ward is definitely the best, like,
Mhm.
improviser that you have out playing right now. Don't get me wrong, I love Shador, but I feel like because of his offensive line,
Mhm.
he didn't really get the full experience of him really balling out like we got of a Cam. And I think Cam played probably a little bit tougher competition per se. Like yeah, Shador brought the stars out and all of that, but Cam kind of gave us a little bit more excitement on it. You kind of, I
Yeah.
feel like you
Yep.
kind of thought, well, how many sacks they gonna get on Shador this week? You know what I mean? I think Jackson Dart is gonna be a
Oh yeah,
is gonna be
yeah.
a
We're big
heck of a
Jackson
player
Dart
too.
fans.
Like
He
that
was
boy
actually one of our
been
sleeper
balling.
picks not too long ago. Jay, what about you and what's your take on the quarterback class?
Um, like Il said, uh, we all know Shadur. He's the hot name. But I think Cam Ward, he's the better quarterback. He's more polished. Uh, he's more mobile, which is kind of like the theme of the NFL now. It's like mobile quarterbacks, and I feel like if he gets with the right team with a good offensive line, he'll be able to showcase those skills, be able to use his legs when need be, or to scramble outside the pocket. And he has a like a rocket of an arm. He has a good arm. He has a strong arm. So I think Tennessee they should draft him. They need a quarterback. He's definitely better than Will Levis, who'll come in and start right away. But I really love Cam Ward. I love Shadur too, but Shadur is more of your pocket passer, and he has to kind of go somewhere where it's like a three step drop type offense. Like he has to get the ball out quickly because that's the type of quarterback he is. He's a pocket passer. He has to get the ball out quicker. And I saw
Hmm.
like somebody, it was some player, I forgot who it was, but they called him out about him patting the ball like once he snapped it. I was like, that's not too big of an issue. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks do
Yeah,
that.
and our
So
guys,
I don't think that's an issue at all.
Three
But
guys, six balls
I like
NFL
both
podcasters
quarterbacks, but I
joining us
like
next
Cam
week.
Ward more.
They love Jackson Dart too. They think he's the best QB in the draft.
I agree.
I still think it's Cam Ward then Jackson Dart. But I'm not sitting here saying Shador's not good because that's not the case at all. He is really a talented quarterback. But to your point, El, he did take a lot of sacks at Colorado, right? And I think we look at Caleb Williams last year, took a lot of sacks at USC, then comes in last year and took a lot of sacks even with the Bears. So they know that they need to work on the offensive line. I'm afraid with Shador is he's going to get happy feet. And with the happy feet, he's going to think the pressure is phantom pressure, right? Where the blitz, he may think he's getting pressure, but he's getting rid of he's making too quick of judgment, too quick of call, where he doesn't need to do that. We saw that with Russell Wilson too, with the Seahawks later in his career with the Seahawks. So this thing is real. You can coach it, but it's always up in your mind that pressure's coming. I got to make a quicker decision than I really do. So I don't I don't hate Shador Sanders, but he's got to work on a few things, and he's got to get to a team who they have a strong enough offensive line to kind of combat what he's feeling in the pressure in the pocket before he makes the bad decisions. And I think give him 1 or 2 years in a system, get him comfortable with what he has, then I think he'll be okay. Um, bro, any thoughts on Shador?
Yeah, I mean, I think he is more of a project quarterback than like Cam Ward. I think he can come in and play right away. Shador might even come in and play right away, just importance of the position, right? Like if he goes to a team that needs a quarterback, he's going to play. I think if he can come in and kind of have that out or Patrick Mahomes type sit for a year, maybe year and a half or so, just to learn the speed of the game, right? See what the veteran in front of you is seeing, talk about it, practice it. Because I mean, if he holds the ball like he did at Colorado, like there's D tackles that are faster than some corners you faced in college, all right? Like these NFL D tackles, D ends, they're no joke. Uh, they're running 4.4s, 4.3s now. You can't hold the ball. I'm with Jay. I don't think patting the ball is really that. I mean that everyone does it. I don't. Yeah, I don't. We're nitpicking at that point, but I think just the amount of time he holds onto the ball. That I don't know if that's natural to him, but if that's natural, that's going to have to be coached out because you can't do that in the NFL. But if he can go somewhere where he's kind of a project quarterback, maybe not even a full season, right? 8 to 10 weeks, learn it, then take over the back half. But uh, yeah, he has potential if the situation is correct.
So give me. So let's start our next topic of sleepers, and it can be any side of the ball. who are you guys thinking can be a surprise pick, whether it's the first round or who maybe someone's sleeping on that may get a steal in the later parts of the draft?
So, Jay knows this, but this is one of my favorite players this past season. Has been Cam Scatterboo. I have liked him like the whole past season, and I think that whoever gets him, they're gonna get a diamond in the rough because of his size and because of his athletic ability. I feel like he should go the second. I mean, like later on in the first round.
Mhm.
But I think he's gonna slip to like day 2, maybe day 3, or in the middle. Like the dude is what you
Mhm.
want in the case of a running
Jay,
back.
what about you?
He's just small.
I'll say
Mhm.
um, Travion Henderson, running back from Ohio State. Um, I feel like he could be a late first round pick, but he's definitely an early second round pick. And a team that needs a running back, they're going to draft him. But he's so explosive with like the ball in his hands. He's a game changer. Like once you hand him off the ball, he's gone. Like he's a home run threat every
Mhm.
single time. So like I'm just throw a team out there. We all know the Dallas Cowboys. They need a running back. I think he would be a good fit for the Cowboys in the second round, especially if we go receiver in the first round, which I think we should do. But I like him to go to a team like that, like to Dallas. I think he
Yeah,
would be
I like
very
I like Travion
explosive.
Anderson.
Maybe like the
If, and
Chargers.
I'm a Broncos
Chargers
guy,
another good
so if
landing
Denver
spot
were
for him.
to not go running back with 20, I would like Henderson as a second round option myself. Um, he would, and you just think back to that national championship game and what he was able to do,
He'd be a
and
great
even
fit for
throwing his
Denver. Yeah.
teammate Quinshon Judkins too. Both those guys I think are NFL ready, and they're ready to go. I do have a question about Cam Scatterboot. Who does he kind of remind you guys of, as far as like running the football, and does it? Do you think it will translate? Because I know he, obviously all the missed tackles in college, it could be a little different in the NFL. So, do you guys have any concerns about maybe a wear and tear on the guy like him?
I think that you can use him as as
Hmm.
what is it called? A utility player, right? So you may not put him down. You may not put him first down,
Hmm.
like all two down. But it may be
Yeah, he
a
could be,
specific package
short yardage
where
goal line type
you
guy.
put him
So,
in and he does
Situational. Yeah.
great.
yeah. Jay, do you have any thoughts on Cam Scatterbo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was basically gonna say the same thing. Like, I think he'd be good,
Hmm.
like situation. I think he'll be good, like in the goal line, short yardage, because he's so small and compact, and he took a lot of like hits over the season. So you don't want to like overuse him, and his body's not built for that. Like he's not built to be a workhorse back. Like if he goes to like somewhere like they use running back by committee, I think he'll be fine.
Yep.
But
Is that kind
if
of where you're leaning?
he gets drafted
Yeah.
by a
No, I,
team and
I
they
I think
want
if
him
he
to be
goes
the
in the right
workhorse. I don't
area,
think he'll
it
last
would
long
be
in the
a
NFL.
steal. Um, if he goes in like if he goes a little too high, I'd be a little worried. Just because those do typically see a little more run, a little more PT. But if he is that like third to fifth round guy, I think that is you get great value with a guy like that. Um, yeah, I like Scotty Boo. I liked watching him in college. The dude, I mean, he's a football player, right? Like that's kind of a dude you want between the sidelines for you. Like if I'm gonna go to battle, I want a guy like him. So absolutely, I'm 50-50 on how well it'll translate. But there's no doubt he's going to come in and he's going to do his best to at least run through walls and run through people, and I can respect that.
Yeah, I think this running back class is so deep, right? This is probably one of the deeper positions in this draft where you're going to have someone who's not going to get drafted in the first round that probably should. And I do, Travion Henderson could definitely be one of those guys. And, you know, you have Ashton Genty. He'll obviously be probably top 10. I don't think he would get past the Bears at 10 if he's there. And then Omarion Hampton, obviously another great one. And then after those two guys, I mean, it could be anybody, right? So as we're on the sleeper topic, is there maybe a position outside of the quarterbacks? Is there maybe a position that's not maybe as deep, or maybe it's being overlooked a little bit? Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's not as top heavy.
I would say wide receiver.
Yeah, the receiver's not as top
I
heavy, but
think,
it's still not a
we all
bad
know
bad
about,
draft class.
huh? Yeah, I feel like, yeah, we know
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter, we know Luther, we know
Yeah.
Chet, right? But you got M Mbuke from Ohio State.
Yeah.
You got Golden from Texas. You got Isaiah
Oh, yeah.
Isaiah Bond. Like, you got some pickups. I mean, you got some players that you can plug and play.
Yeah,
Right? Like, I think
and I think even with
plug
this
them in
one,
and play them.
you know, I think Luther Burden's kind of
Get
that
them out
fringe
there and see
first
what they
round
can
pick,
do.
right? Like, I've seen some have him in the first round, some had him at 20 to Denver, but others had him slipping a little further than that. And then there was even some who had him maybe top half of the second round. And then, you know, another one, Matthew Golden, Texas, he's kind of been slipping a little bit too. He's, again, outside of Tet, who's obviously probably a for sure first rounder, and then Ibuka, who it's still out on what he's going to be and what he turns out to be, essentially. Jay, do you have any thoughts on the receiver?
I think the receivers is a great
Yeah.
group of guys, but the position I'm thinking about that's kind of not so top heavy is cornerback. Like outside of Will Johnson, like who else? Like who else is like first level
Yeah, and I think even with
talent
the
worthy, or
cornerbacks, you're gonna
even
get
second round
some
level talent
gems,
ready.
right? Because Will Johnson's obviously he's gonna be pretty good, and then we follow KU. Kobe Bryant's a name, Mello Dotson. Those are two corners that we paid attention to, and I still lean Mello being a third round, and then Kobe maybe a fourth round. But it wouldn't surprise me if both of them were fourth round and on. But those two guys, I think, as corners, and we're going to do our defensive position breakdown tomorrow. But those two guys are going to be on our radar as far as what corners go. Hey, look at the corners in the NFL right now. Not all these guys were first round picks. Like, these guys were second, third, or even beyond, and they're making a name for themselves. So it's a very, very important position in today's NFL. With the way receivers are, you know, you have Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all these guys. Teams have to have more than one corner. Some even have to have more than two. I mean, if you don't have three that you're comfortable with, you might be in trouble with some of the receivers, because the receivers keep getting better. And then you throw in the tight ends. Tight ends are getting way better too, and you're going to ask corners or safeties to possibly, be able to cover these guys. So I like that as far as, yeah, I think the corners are being overlooked. And that's actually a great point. And I know you're the defensive guy. Give us your thoughts on the corners. I know you're a huge Will Johnson fan.
Yeah, I am. I do want to make sure we don't get too far away from receivers, just because I've been beating the drum for him since even before college season ended. Trey Harris is still going to be the best receiver out of this draft. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know who's going to get him. he's going to be the best receiver in the class. I did it when we did our offensive breakdown. Trey Harris was my number 1 ranked receiver. I don't care. If Chiefs end up getting him like 3rd round, I'm a Chiefs guy, Broncos guy over here. But if Chiefs get this dude in like the 3rd round, I'm gonna run through our wall. I'm gonna be so excited. Like that's what I'm talking about. No more Sky Moores of the world.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care what else we did. I got Trey Harris, but
Y'all don't
defensively,
need
I think
nobody
Will
else.
Johnson, absolute stud. I'm with Jay. It's a little overlooked / weaker once you get past him. There's some dudes. The corner from Notre Dame, great size. Still some question marks. I think there's one from Texas.
So
I don't know. We might only. Yeah,
Yep,
I
yep.
think we're gonna see at most 2 corners, true corners. You might get
Oh,
that like
Jade
hybrid
Graham.
nickel safety draft pick somewhere in there, but I think max is 2 corners in the 1st round, and that's crazy to think about. Given every team needs at least 3, and a lot of teams don't even have 1. It's going to be a position for a lot of teams, but this draft it's not top heavy. So I was going to go with corner as well. So I like that pick.
so my sleeper is
Mm.
for cornerbacks. The guy from I
Yeah.
can't think of his name right now, but the guy
Yeah, I
from
know
Eastern
which one you're talking.
Carolina.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's a good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think his name
him.
is Rebel or Revel.
Yeah.
And
Him.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get a lot of those
I
in
think
this
whoever
draft just
picks him
because
up,
it's
they're gonna
it's
get a
not as
beast.
top heavy as years past. So I think you're gonna have to look for those 3rd round and on guys who some of these guys are gonna have to come in and make, they're gonna have to make noise right away. Did I hear that you were a Cowboys fan? So that's good. So they're sitting at 12, and
Yeah,
we
I'm
had our
Cowboys
last
fan.
guest last week. He's a Cowboys fan too, and it's good to hear different perspectives of two people that like the same teams. So where they're sitting at in the
Oh,
draft,
nice.
are you on the Genty bandwagon, or where are you leaning with that 1st round? This is kind of an important draft for the Cowboys and everything that they've been through, right? I mean, obviously Jerry's Jerry, so we won't even get into Jerry Jones, but this roster's not that bad, right? They're only a couple pieces away. So where would you say that they need to go with this pick? Mm-hmm.
At first, I was Team Genty all the way, but now I'm starting to lean more towards wide receiver. And I know we talked about Ted already, but if he somehow falls to us, we have to grab him. If he's gone and they love Golden, which I heard
Yeah.
they love him, honestly, I think Golden would be a little too rich to be picked at 12. I think he could be had maybe like 15 to like the 20s range. So if the team is willing to trade up to get their guy, and they call us like, hey, we want to trade up to the 12th pick, I would trade down a few slots. If Golden's still there, draft Golden, and we get us an extra 3rd round pick because we don't have any 4th round picks right now. We just have our 1st, our 2nd, our 3rd, and like 3/5 and 2/7, I think. So if we're able to get an extra 3rd round pick by trading down, by all means, go for it. But to prioritize need, I'll say we need a wide receiver first. We need a game changer. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, we don't have anyone else that could go to. Throwing the ball, CeeDee Lamb has led the league in targets for like the past 2 years. So to protect him, give him a Robin. He's Batman, but give him Robin, and that'll open up our
Yeah, so it sounds
offense.
like the Cowboys
Now we
need to
talked
draft
about how
Trey
deep the
Harris
running
number
backs
12.
are.
I'm just
Get your running
saying,
back in the
all
2nd
right.
round.
Like you
That's
need a
what I would do.
receiver, Trey Harris. All right. I'd hate to see it because I'm not saying I'm a Cowboys hater, but I'm still wanting Trey Harris to somehow find his way to the Chiefs. But I agree with you. I think receiver first with how deep the running back class is. you're going to have those picks in the second round at running back still. And like what we mentioned, receiver's good, but it's not as deep. I think it would be smart to go receiver than running back. I also, just because I'm a defensive guy, if he somehow falls there or gets within a pick or two, I'd love the Cowboys to be aggressive and go get Will Johnson. And you have him and Diggs. I've seen Will Johnson slip a little bit on some mock drafts. Obviously, we don't know where the feeling actually is on him. But to me, thinking of Will Johnson and Diggs, because I'm not a big Diggs fan as a number one corner. He's too risky, right? But if he was your number two corner, I love it. So for me, being a defensive guy, I'm like, Johnson and Diggs,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not a good.
Yep.
Hey, that actually would be a good idea.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
because Diggs, he is coming off of the ACL injury. And I think this is his second one, or he just been having knee problems like ever since he signed the extension. So I get it. Like he could lose some of his athleticism and ball skills. But if we get Will Johnson, I wouldn't be mad at that pick either because you have 3 starting corners. You have Diggs,
Yeah, now you
Johnson, and
give
then you could
those
slot
3 cover
DeRon
guys,
Bland back into
you're
the
giving
slot,
Micah
which I
Parsons
think
just
he's at
that
his
extra
best in
half
the slot
second.
as a slot corner.
Not that he needs it, but you give someone like that just that extra half second to make a difference with your pass rush. I think you just affect all levels of your defense when you have something like that on the back end.
Yeah, and yeah, and then you look at your division too with the Eagles, obviously with Devontae Smith,
And that'd
AJ
be
Brown,
nice.
Malik Neighbors, and
Darius Slayton.
Darius Slayton, I guess. Yes, but and then obviously the Commanders and what they've been able to do wouldn't hurt. And kind of like what we've been talking about, the running backs are so deep in this class that you don't have to. I've never been big on first round running backs to begin with. I don't think there's a Saquon Barkley in this draft. There may be some that are close, but I don't think there's Saquon Barkley. So there's no harm in taking a good player in a need. And I think with the Cowboys, you're not going to be that upset if Travion Harrison's there in the second round and you grab him. If that means you get Will Johnson in the first round or Tet in the first round. I mean, it's you could even find a running back in the fourth round. I can barely confidently say that there's going to be a running back there in the fourth round that's going to be able to
Devin Neal.
be able to make Devin Neal, and he's going to be able to make some noise. What do you have a team? Are you a Cowboys guy too?
He's the Niners.
Oh, Niners, that's right. Niners, you did. So
Oh no, I would. Get the Cowboys.
let's talk
I
about
like
the
them.
49ers then
They're
real
trash.
quick, and they've had kind of an interesting offseason.
Oh,
Are you
man.
on the pay Brock Purdy bandwagon, or are you trying to tell him to kick rocks and go somewhere else?
Man. Nah, pay the man. Pay him. I'm on the pay him train. Pay him because you don't want to let him walk and then you draft somebody and he don't give you what you need. So you already got a proven quarterback. Just add more pieces around him. Start with your offensive tackle because Trent Williams is going to be gone in a matter of a few years. So we need another backup. We need somebody that can come in and play.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a dynamic receiver. I want Tet, but I like big receivers
And
because
then,
most cornerbacks are small. So I would go and go get
so
a
go
big
ahead. I
receiver.
was gonna ask who are like if there's a dream
I also like,
pick, is that Tet for you?
huh? If not Tet, then
Oh yeah.
then the
If the
cornerback
thing put
from
him,
Penn State.
yeah, man.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm
mean
sitting here.
You said that,
the
and I'm
tight
like,
end from
damn.
Penn State.
So you're putting. Yeah, that's my
Oof.
first thought exactly because George still has
Oof.
it has some in the tank, so
Him
he's
and
still.
George Kittle
But I
together.
think of the creativity that Kyle Shanahan could do with a Tyler Warren type receiver. and then it opens up so much more for that offense. And if you get Christian McCaffrey back healthy, the 49ers could honestly be in the market for a running back in this draft. So, yeah, Tyler Warren, week.
So like,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna give you my little dream scenario, right? So we get the office. Is he a center? The dude from Louisiana, from
Oh yeah, the
LSU.
tackle. Yep.
He's a
Oh, you
center,
talking
right?
about Will Johnson?
Yeah.
No, he's a tackle.
Get him, right? Put- Yeah. Get him. Replace him for Trent. Have him come in for Trent. Get get the tight end Warren from Notre Dame. Get Chet on the outside, and then get uh not Henderson, the other dude
Man,
from
yeah. I mean,
Judson.
I'm sure that
Get Judson from Ohio State, and boom.
Well, those first three guys you
yeah.
named, they first round guys, so
No,
y'all
Like
got
all
to
I'm
get y'all
saying
some
is,
trying to make those
first round
Madden
draft picks to
trades.
make
like all I'm
that.
saying, my dream scenario for the Chiefs. Then I want Travis
This ain't
Hunter,
Madden.
Abdul Carter,
Hey, I
and Will
know,
Johnson. Give me that for the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll be
boy.
good.
Hey,
Yeah. And,
hey,
the
hey, the crazy thing,
49ers,
yeah.
they make you scratch your head a little bit. So I can only imagine being a 49ers fan over the last couple of years, you know, especially with the topic of, is Brock Purdy going to get paid? Is he worth the pay? Is, Christian McCaffrey going to get healthy? How much more does George Kittle have left in the tank? Well, is Kyle Shanahan the right coach? Which, in my opinion, yes, Kyle Shanahan will always be the right coach for the 49ers. He is one of the best coaches in the NFL, in my opinion. But you got some roster holes, and you know, I don't know how you fix those immediately, right? Especially if you do end up paying Brock Purdy what he thinks he's going to get paid. So, have we seen, is the window for the 49ers closed, or do you guys think it's still there for maybe a year or two?
Um, I've been seeing that a lot. Everyone tends to say, "Oh, the window's closed. The window's
Yep.
closed."
Yep.
I think if you get the
And
right
and
talent
the
in there,
division itself,
the window can be right back open.
Matt Stafford's obviously getting older, but the Rams are still very, very good. Seahawks, I think, are going to take a step back. I think the Seahawks are going to regress a little bit offensively. They're still going to have a good defense. But then you have the Cardinals. You don't
Hmm.
know which Kyler Murray you're going to get season after season. I know Trey McBride's on the team, Marvin Harrison Jr. Their defense is okay. So, I mean, you're right. The 49ers are only a couple pieces because their division, you just never know with the NFC West and what they're going to do. So as we kind of finish up here, is there any other sleepers that you guys are kind of thinking of that may be a surprise? Um, let's see. I mean, we did pretty good as far as, we picked offense and defense. But is there any other ones that you guys are thinking of?
Mhm.
I think what
Hmm.
the tackle from
Yeah, Mimbu.
the offensive line. He's from Missouri. I think he's gonna be nice. Him and the 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 guard from USC. I can't think of his name either. But both of them, I
Yeah,
think both
I
of
like,
them are gonna be like
the offensive line,
a
I
really
think could
good
be
type
another
of
position that's kind of
pickup.
overlooked because after you get past those handful of tackles, there's some good interior players in this draft that I think, some of your better interior guards and centers are found in the third, fourth, fifth round. But I do like this offensive line position. There's some big guys in there, and then you look at the small school guys in this draft. As far as offensive linemen go, uh, Jay, what about you? Any last sleepers that you're thinking of? Yeah, I like Watts.
Also, the safety from Notre Dame, Xavier Watts.
He was one that kind of stood out to me during that playoff run for Notre Dame. He flies around. He may be a little slower on the
Man, that's what they said about Kyle Hamilton though, and I'd take 12 of him.
Yeah, but I do like him, and I think get him in the 3rd or 4th round, and I think let him sit for a year, get some special teams reps, and then maybe step in. I think at some point he would be a stud, and I don't know if I'd compare him to Kyle Hamilton, but
well, I'm just saying they said Kyle Hamilton was slow and it hasn't seemed to matter for that All-Pro, so just put on the tape, right? We get too caught up with like combine and pro day numbers where it's like, put on the tape. The dude, he's at Notre Dame, so he's not playing weak ass competition. Like he's at Notre Dame. Watch the tape. The dude balls out. That's all I need to know. Like I don't care his 40 was 0.2 seconds slower than I was hoping. Like, and I said the same thing about Kyle Hamilton, and he kept just slipping to the Ravens, and I'm like, this is garbage. I want that kind of stuff to happen for the Chiefs, but I like the Watts pick. I think interior D linemen are going underlooked as well. There's so many in this draft that you're going to see a lot of just quality nose tackles, D tackles going in the 3rd and 4th round. I do want to make sure we give our boy on the Niners a shout out though, Dominic Pooney, Rock Chalk, dude. That was our guy. So I know we were sounded like we were getting a little bit of shade towards the Niners, but there's some light on the Niners even for us. Where our boy Dominic Pooney up there on the offensive line is huge for us. But I'm gonna go. I'm outside of Trey Harris. I think Kobe Bryant. I'm gonna be a homer. I think seeing him where he's supposed to go 4th, 5th, 6th round. He's a big dude. He's probably pretty comparable to like a Diggs. He's aggressive. He's gonna get beat quite a bit, but he is a ball hawk. And he's not afraid to tackle. He might be like a $120 soaking wet, but the dude, he's gonna come in and tackle. So I think a guy like that who's gonna be a late pick, he's gonna be on an NFL roster and make an impact. So I'm really diving deep into that sleeper bin, going like late round. But I love what Kobe Bryant brings to the table, and it's kind of in his name.
It's true. All right, Jay, go ahead and lay out where we can find you guys on your socials for everyone listening.
You can find us on Instagram at The Breakdown with J and L. Same thing for Twitter at
Perfect.
The Breakdown
We'll put
with
that
J
on
and
our
L.
tag when we put this
Also
video
on
up
TikTok
later
at The
on.
Breakdown with J
I
and
do want to
L.
thank you guys for taking time out of your evening to come on with us. It's been fun. Even again, we enjoy seeing perspectives of other people with sports, and especially with the NFL. And it's not always about the Chiefs and Broncos. We love having Cowboys and 49ers people on here as well. Kind of get perspective of yeah, we have opinions on the Cowboys and 49ers because we follow football enough. But again, fans that you guys pay a lot of attention to that. So go find these guys on Instagram. They put out really good content. I really enjoy seeing your guys' posts. So that made me want to reach out to you guys, get you on here. We will be back on tomorrow night. We're doing a draft episode, defensive positions, kind of like what we did earlier this week with our offensive positions. And we're still playing around with new software, so hopefully it doesn't boot us off while we're trying to do that episode tomorrow night. So for everyone listening, thank you. Thank you for the guys in the comments. We really appreciate that. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Yeah, Jay, and just to be clear, we do appreciate like Cowboys fans and Niners.
We appreciate you for having us.
Thank you.